All right. Brian Padgett, welcome to the Pyro.
Thanks.
Well, let's start out with your qualifications.
Qualifications? Right now I'm flying the 207 in Bethel.
Okay.
For you.
What are you? Commercial airplane, single engine land?
Yep, single land and CFI. I got my multi as well.
Sweet. Any float plane?
Not yet.
Tailwheel?
Tailwheel yet.
Sick. So you fly for Ute on Bethel.
Yep.
Is that your first job at a 135?
Yes. But
Sweet. So tell us about the journey to get there.
Sure, yeah. So I sold it on my 16th birthday.
Sick.
So yeah, I've been flying for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And out of high school, I was headed into college, trying to get an engineering degree. And so my mentors were like, "You trying to fly or no?" So I switched to that. I was ramping at Spurnack at the time.
Yeah.
And Craig slid my resume over to the chief pilot of Ute. And a week later, I was flying 172 out in Bethel.
Nice.
So after a couple shifts of that, I went over to the 207.
So
I'm flying that for about a year and a half now.
And are you from Alaska originally?
Yeah, I was born in Anchorage.
Sweet. So what was it like? Did you have family who were aviators?
Yeah, my dad was, he flew for Ace in like the late 90s.
Nice.
And then he maintained his CFI the whole time I was growing up. So whole middle school, high school, me and Ben would be playing Flight Simulator. Just zooming around on there. And then the first, half my private was just unlearning all these like random habits I had from playing video games. So,
Nice.
yeah, I got a pretty easy start with my dad already in the business. So
Hell yeah.
it's a good start for sure.
Have you ever flown in the States?
Yeah, I did my commercial CFI in Minnesota.
Nice. What was that like?
It was like a 3-week course.
Yeah.
We just hammered it out.
Nice.
It was pretty funny though, just weaving around the Bravo and 3 Deltas, and there's all these towers and stuff. You can't duck under or fly low to get out of the way of anything. You hit a water tower or something. So it was funny to just suddenly fly in an extremely congested area.
Yeah.
After 400 or 500 hours in Alaska at that point.
Nice. So you got those. You came back up here. You were still ramping at Spurnack, and then you went out to Bethel. What's flying in Bethel like?
Flying in Bethel is just, once you get going, it's just nonstop flying.
Yeah.
In July, I flew 113 hours in 17 days.
Jesus.
It was pretty full shift, but for those caravan guys, some guys can average that if they've got enough to do, especially if you get a certain line that has a lot of flying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think about it like we're flying the same weather as every other commercial operation, but it's all VFR single engine, so it's flat out there, and we're just down low, weaving around the clouds, and full every leg, and guys will, especially in the 172, you'll get like 26 landings a day in a 48-hour day.
Christ. Yeah. I thought 13 was bad for me. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, 13 is probably about average.
Yeah.
Especially, we're doing that down when it's negative 20.
Yeah. Dude.
Like unwrapping yourself out of the plane every single flight.
Yeah. So are you wearing a super suit out there? Or you have the full?
No, I just got the Yukon Extremes.
Yeah.
Built for the Delta. And then,
nice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously don't have heaters in the planes really.
Yeah.
At all, so it's all you just outside's inside.
Yeah, dude. I've gotten caught in a couple of cold situations in the sled, and
yeah,
it's not very warm, and it doesn't warm back up very easily.
Just recently though, I learned this old timer trick where you rip the heater tube out of the front heater tube out and just point it directly at yourself. It was like 20 a few days ago, and I was actually warm for the first time.
Hell yeah!
This job again,
dude.
It was pretty crazy. Last shift, it went from negative 20 to 40 in one day, so you can imagine the weather changes associated with that.
Oh, yeah.
This last one was pretty rough. We had 5 weather days in a row.
Jesus.
For the 207, so.
So what are you doing on a weather day?
Well, we dug a PS4 up out in the trailer. We all live in a double-wide trailer together.
Yeah.
So we're all just hanging out with 9 of your best friends for 2 weeks straight, so we find stuff to do. Yeah, I mean, usually we're at work till like noon or 4, just to be ready to go. And
yeah.
They'll kind of let us go. Obviously, we're not clocked out till later in the evening, but
right.
just kind of get up to stuff, like deep cleaning these nasty refrigerators with dead fish in them from like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of the turnover used to be extremely high out there, and now it's slowed down quite a bit. So it's like a, kind of cleaning up after those guys sometimes, I guess.
Well, the slowdown in turnover, is that just associated with the airline slowdown? You think?
Yeah. I mean, when I got to Ute, there was like, probably 2 people a shift. 2-week rotation were coming in. New guys, 2 guys leaving, 2 new guys coming in. And now there was like a 6-month stretch where we had 1 new guy. So
really?
Yeah, it's quite a different environment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, last year, things were starting to slow down, but for the 3 years before that, it was if you had 1,500 hours in pulse, you were.
It was funny that Ute had just bought their Navajos right when the slowdown hit, so they're like, anybody want to stick around after they hit 1,500 and fly in Navajo? And the whole room just laughing. And then 3 months later, everybody's like, hey, I'm both Navajos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how are they utilizing the Navajos?
It's just, we're basically just doing the same stuff we do in the 207 with them. Just, they're typically better suited to like run a shuttle route, like pick up, group people in Antioch can pick them up, but we don't have quite enough passenger traffic for that, it seems like. So they're just hitting all the gravel runways and getting pretty, beats them up pretty hard. But
oh yeah,
we've got 5, and usually they've got 2 or 3 going.
Yeah, that sounds about right for fly-to-buy ratio for Navajo. So how many hours are you at right now?
About 2,500.
Okay. Are you looking at going into the Navajo? Is that on the horizon for you?
So we're scheduled operators, so you have to have your ATP.
That's right.
You got to be 23 for that, so got about a year and a half or so.
Oh, wow.
Not a bad place to be, but...
Yeah. Sick, dude. So, walk us through like a day in the life of flying out in Bethel. You get up
so we're
pretty
just
early.
Fixed duty day, 7:30 to 9:30.
Yeah. So you're at the you're out at the airport at 7:30.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, we start the weather briefing.
Yeah.
And 10-20 minutes of that, we roll out and we start putting the planes off. Mm-hmm. We got a hangar that can hold about half our planes, so the rest are sleeping outside. So sometimes it's kind of a cleanup operation. The current record I know of is a guy, he launched at 7:54. Yeah. But usually 8 to 8:30, we're getting our first flights. Usually it's the short hops, especially in the winter, we're launching at night, which isn't a lot of fun. So
yeah.
It's just like black hole out there sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, short flight, you pick up longer flights. We don't really know our schedule until, they get the manifest handed to us. So
yeah,
it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes whether you're going to time out or not. But typically, it's like long flight. We'll get like a Tanunnik or something, 2 hours, and then a couple short hops. And every once in a while, every few days, there's going to be a 2 or 3 hour gap where we're just waiting for check-ins or passenger traffic, and then usually 8 o'clock we're launching the last flights of the day. Yeah. And then we're usually wrapping up about 9 p.m.
Oh,
so full day.
Full day, for sure. Yeah. But, and so you're 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off?
Yeah, it's just half the month, so second half. So some days we're getting 17-day shifts.
Nice.
So
how are you preparing yourself? What's in your flight bag? How are you preparing yourself for flying VFR in a single engine airplane out in the tundra?
Mm-hmm. We don't really carry flight bags. We got the mandatory survival kitment.
Yeah.
So we're running that, and then your headset, lots of extra batteries. Most new guys start out with 4-flight and a Sentry, but those planes were actually the first planes to get capstone, so they've got pretty much all that stuff built in.
Yeah.
As far as, we got the mighty 430 and most of them, and you get ADS-B, weather, radar, anything off the GMX, which is older than me, but it's still working. So
yeah,
pretty much that, and then obviously just in the winter, just layer up a whole lot, lots of snacks.
Yeah. So are you going on little out and backs or mostly routes? Or
it's pretty much almost all out and back.
Yeah.
We've got a Antioch base and a St. Mary's base.
Oh, okay.
So you guys are going up there for a week or a whole shift and doing stuff out of there. Then usually it's 1 or 2 villages, just hub and spoke, Bethel and back. And we're usually mostly full both ways.
Nice.
I believe there's I've heard 20,000 people across the whole YK Delta, so there's a lot of traffic. It's just spread out sometimes for sure.
Yeah, and Bethel is the main hub for that whole area. That whole, basically, third of Alaska right there. So you've been out there and flying for so long, you've probably run into a few situations that got your attention.
Yeah,
Did any come to mind?
I think the worst is just losing mags. You're just cruising along and, man, something's not right. And it's a few of them have just been a shake every 5-10 seconds. Mm-hmm. But one was I thought maybe something had come out and hit the tail or something. It was just rattling real hard. So that one was I was coming back and I landed 6 miles from Bethel because I had a plane full of people. I didn't want to risk anything, and I ended up sitting there in -15 for 3 hours in the back of the plane while the mechanics replaced the magneto.
Oh my!
And then the whole time Bethel's in sight. It was kind of one of those times where it could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't fun. Yeah, losing mags. There's a lot of occasions with the 207, people run out of gas. One take, and then left tank is full. Yeah. So, that's a classic.
Starvation.
Yeah, classic with the 207. Yeah. It hasn't happened to me, but it's been common out there over time.
Yeah, because unlike a lot of Cessna products, it doesn't have the option to draw both. You're either left or right when you're flying that. You got to remember to...
Especially that low and that heavy with the Hartzell props, the 207 doesn't glide at all. So it's just straight down.
No, it glides like a brick.
Yeah. Imagine we're usually, at gross. Yeah. So that's, you got no glide. No. So a lot of guys just kind of immediately focus on trying to find somewhere to land, maybe thinking something else instead of just going for the tank switch. So
pitch switch pumps. Yeah. No. The emergency procedure for the 207.
We had a guy interviewing at NetJets, and he was like, "Oh, can you walk me through a flow you guys use at your current job?" I think he was expecting mixer prop flows, flat. He's like, "Oh, pitch switch." The guy's like, "What?" That's all we can do. You got anything else you can tell me about? It's pretty funny.
That's it. Yeah. So what about the weather out there? The weather in, at least I've spent a little time flying out of Bethel, but where I typically fly now, down on the Aleutian Peninsula, it doesn't have a whole lot of weather reporting, and so you have to do a lot of interpolation. You have to go off of the charts and non-official products in order to augment your understanding of how weather's going to affect you. Is that similar to?
Yeah, for sure. There's it's funny. There's probably 5 or 6 airports within 15 miles of Bethel, and half of them have weather reporting.
Yeah.
And the entire western coast from Tuksuk to Kip or Kong there's nothing.
Yeah.
Just half the weather cams are broken.
Yeah.
It's do you guys not care about us? So it's all about the weather cams and village agent reports. We get a pretty good list of which agents we trust and which agents launch their snow machine parts on time.
Yeah. That's come up on the podcast before. You got to have a couple of different numbers for who to call for a weather report, especially if depending on who's getting what that day.
We had a recent event where this guy going to Chivac, and the DOT guy's the runway's great, and so the second he touches down, the plane just crabs straight in the wind. He's just fighting the plane the whole way down the runway. And he pulls off, and the Ryanair agent was like, "Wow, no one else has come here today. It's awful. I told them not to come." He's like, "What? What the heck?" That's not what I heard. But out there, like you're saying with the weather, I mean, people get mad at the agents, and they're like, "Oh," and stuff will change 5 to 10 minutes. Fog will roll in, fog will roll out.
Oh yeah.
I think the funniest thing we see out there is we'll have a 30-knot east wind. And the weather will become from the west. We're just
because it's creating it as it's blowing in, which is so weird to see.
It's it blows in, blows out.
Yeah,
you can almost use that to your advantage out there. especially with how flat it is, you can look at the radar and you can see a cell move through Bethel, and it'll go a quarter mile, and you'll just wait it out in a village, and then a minute later it'll be VFR. It's like ceilings 9,000 or something. You're like,
yeah,
I'm glad I didn't risk it trying to get in when I was real low, because so you can kind of play that, change to your, you can use it, or they work against you sometimes.
Yeah, you can be patient and just kind of let the weather play out, because it moves. There's nothing holding it there.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's nothing that's like catching it in a bay or something like that, holding the weather in place.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of the more mountainous regions, if the wind's blowing out of the east, like it's just going to pin that up against the west side of the mountain.
Yeah, that's another thing you'll find out there with like 40 knot winds on the surface, 30, 40 knots, and you get above 1,000, and it's just smooth.
Yeah.
You're like, it's pretty deceiving.
Yeah.
You get somewhere, you see the windsock is like completely straight. You're like, wow, I had no idea.
Nice. So, where do you all fly?
So we get, I guess you got a pointer or something?
Here, should point with that.
All right. We got the official map here. So we're out of here.
Yep.
We go as far south as Good News.
Yep.
We'll go out west, Nelson Island.
Mm-hmm.
We got Navajo routes up to Kotlik. We do these in the 207 sometimes. We get like a nice 3-hour flight.
Nice.
And then we're up to Antioch here. And then we'll hit the Gasher, Grayling, and Big Shagler, Holy Cross, all up in there. So yeah, I'd say our shortest flight's 4.5 miles, and our longest one's like 160.
Nice. So you guys cover a fair bit of ground.
Yeah.
Nice. So, you're flying 207s, all on round dials, with a 430.
Yeah, I got 430. Some planes have the Apollo, which is like 1998 or something.
Apollo.
It's just GPS, and it's got like all these numbers on it with a yellow screen. And it's like laughing at you and everything.
I think I have seen that.
It's pretty funny. They do have, all the planes have moving maps. So
yeah.
Makes it a lot easier sometimes.
Yeah, that helps out quite a bit.
And then 2 planes have the Avidyne, which people seem to like the most.
Yeah.
It's all stuff like Haglund and Wavin was doing to them.
Oh,
That's just what we have. But also, a lot of the planes have this Lifesaver gyro, and it's an electric backup gyro, but they're notorious for just tumbling all the time, and you have to cage it every time you start the plane up. And
really,
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Those are kind of ridiculous. Like, they tried to make an upgrade, and we're all like, just drop the G5 or something, and then while you're at it, it's almost worse.
Yeah.
But we also, when it gets cold out, we're breaking vacuums left and right, so
oh yeah,
it's kind of a gamble.
Yeah, and when you get out in there and it's either flat light because it's white, or it's night and there's just it's perfectly VFR, but there's just nothing to see sometimes in certain situations. So having those instruments.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of situations like ground's white, sky's white, especially when you're going out over the actual tundra.
Yeah.
And night flying out there is like, you almost wonder how it's legal sometimes. It's just pitch black. So even on clear nights, high overcast, it's just like villages swimming off around 100 miles away. It's really, like when I tell a lot of my friends who were born and raised in Alaska that aren't familiar with aviation, they don't believe that like night VFR is a thing. They figure you'd have to be on instruments.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit different. When I did a flight with my friend down in Idaho, and I was like, this is cheating, you can almost it's just the Boise skyline off for as far as the eye can see.
Oh yeah.
It's quite a bit different.
See, that blew me away coming up here, because you've got cities everywhere, especially like I was living in the East Coast doing my flight training, and so there's a city, every city bleeds into the next city, and as long as you've got 5 miles of viz, you're like comfortable flying at night. There's you'll have a reasonable horizon, and you'll have lights everywhere, and reference to whatever's around you. But then you get up flying in Bethel or flying up north where it's just flat and it's just dark, or it's just solid white.
Yeah.
Then there's not even any gradient. That's the thing. Like you get in IMC in the daytime, and you can kind of tell which way's up.
Especially if it's like smoke or something, you got which way's up.
You've got like it's lighter up in this direction, and it's like a little darker down there. But you get into whiteout situations, and you can have 10 miles of vis, and it doesn't matter because there's nothing is different.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like, especially when we flying out like close in or something, and it's light snow. Mm-hmm. You take off, and you got the vasty blast your eyes over my headlights, and you rotate, and all you see is just this white cone in front of you. And you're like trying to hammer all the lights off, so you can actually see what no idea what you're looking at.
Oh yeah,
it's just black.
We were talking about that recently on the show, the hyperspace effect. Like you hit the light snow, and it just looks like you're going into hyperspace.
Yeah, we all call it Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Most I've ever gotten was like a month ago. It was rain. It was like 40 degrees and raining in December, and it's just straight rain. Just like pretty much the entire field of view out of the windshield was just white lines. That's kind of we turn the lights off, it goes away. No problem anymore.
Yeah, and just flying on those instruments.
Yeah, well, usually once you turn the lights off, you can see what's going on. But with them on, it's definitely, especially like climb out or landing.
Oh yeah, because you start to lose reference with the yeah. So you've got your tail wheel? Did you get that up here?
Yeah.
And what sort of tail wheel flying have you done?
Yeah, my dad's got a Super Cub, so.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that's how I built most of my time.
Oh, really?
It was a lot of fun. Up to 500 hours was all Cub time. And
just fiddle farting around the ball?
Definitely like trial by fire kind of thing.
Yeah?
Like 17 years old with 200 hours. Just I wonder if I can water ski. It's like, okay. Yes, I can, but should I be,
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that. Land, like mostly off airport.
Nice.
It's a pretty good introduction to Alaska for sure.
Hell yeah.
Probably went to Kinnick like 30 or 40 times, my first year flying.
Do you still fly that? Does he still have it?
Yeah, definitely quite a bit less since flying out in Bethel.
Yeah.
But my younger brother just got his private, so.
Oh, hell yeah.
Checked him out in that, and then over the summer we did a 5-day trip through the Wrangles. It was pretty awesome. Just, I think our average speed was like 60 miles an hour.
Dude.
Just beating it up, hitting all these abandoned mines, and it was pretty cool. We ended up in Chicken, Alaska. We were on top the whole way, and right when we got there, there's a hole. We just dropped in there. Ended up hanging out with these gold miners till like 4 a.m. And then the next day, they're gonna like take us gold mining. Let's keep all the gold, but their hovercraft wouldn't start, and just like stuff like you're kind of like, wow, almost any other airplane you wouldn't have experiences like that.
Dude. That is wild. So 5 days to get out there?
It was
5 days total?
We went out to like the big spots like Peavine Cabin the first day. And after that we pretty much cut straight north up through Toke.
Yeah.
Toke's pretty funny. It's another Cub moment. We gas is $10 a gallon there. Mm-hmm. So we parked it next to this guy's yard and hopped his fence. We walked to the Shell gas station there. We got car gas for $4 a gallon. We had to farmer carry these 8-gallon gas bags for, they're 50 pounds each. Just lugging them down the road. I think what was it? I'm trying to think how much gas. I'm pretty sure we hand carried like 50 gallons of gas from the store down there. Saved like $250 in one shot. That was pretty.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, especially. I got these 8-gallon gas bags from China. They're like $56 a piece. It's like half as much as the airframes ones. And, we're taking off, with 8.5 hours of gas. Any given fuel stop. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, but we went up through Chicken. We hit Nabesna mine, and then we went to this old B-24 wreck from World War II. Hiked through a swamp to get to that.
Oh wow,
it's pretty crazy. There's still we found a 50 BMG shell with gunpowder still in it.
Oh, no way.
Lake City, 1942. And seat belts and like a part of a shoe and stuff. Some pretty crazy stuff.
Jesus.
And then the last day of the trip, we cut through land in Chino Hot Springs. And then flew back down from Fairbanks, and just one shot in the Cub. It was like 4.2 or something. Like, man, there's some parts we're getting passed by cars.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So you did that with your little brother?
Yeah.
Nice. And was he flying parts of this?
Yeah, we trade off.
Nice.
Definitely, there's some times I was glad I was flying for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty technical stuff, especially like heavy cubs at 5,000 feet. You're pretty much fully accustomed to flying with like -1,000 density altitude, and it was getting pretty warm and humid up there at some points, and
yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a couple times we're like fighting over who gets the leg,
Oh yeah.
Pretty good time.
That's sick. So, what are your plans for now? You're staying at Ute for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, pretty much. I've got like a couple applications out trying to move on to like some twin IFR.
Yeah.
But as you know, it's pretty slow right now, so I just kind of seeing what's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 207 is a lot of fun and it's easy.
Yeah.
But long term, it's nice to be able to file or get a pop up or something. Not be, man, I'm not gonna be sleeping in the village tonight.
Yeah.
Well, October, I spent 2 nights at Tulaksak.
Oh yeah.
It's weird.
What's that like? What's it like when you get stranded in a village?
So I was running back from Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to fix the house up there,
mm-hmm.
and just started picking up ice. So I landed in Tulaksak,
mm-hmm.
which is definitely probably one of the rougher villages. There's a bullet hole in the front door of the school.
Jesus.
So it's just got this plywood screwed into the front door, and you're like, all right. And yeah, they put us up in the library. Obviously, we're like logging on the school Wi-Fi and just checking the weather. Like, oh, okay, 2 more hours, it'll break. And it was just quarter mile for 2 days straight.
Really?
I had 2 company employees with me. It was pretty funny. So we're just all living together in this library, eating the school meals with all the students. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, in retrospect, I wish I'd gotten out and walked around, but I kept just saying, "Oh, we'll be out here tonight,"
Yeah.
We weren't, but it was pretty interesting. It's like the village agent would drive us around and kind of see what life is like there.
Yeah.
It's definitely Tulaksak's one of the villages where we're always waiting for the agent. So I got to see like, oh, that drive actually is like 15 minutes of just like the worst potholes you could imagine.
Oh, really?
But it was pretty funny. We obviously didn't have wing covers or anything with us, so we got the plane parked there, and then we go there in the morning, and the breaker kept tripping, so we had to plug it back in, and then like scrape the whole plane off with like a credit card because we gotta be clean, taken off. So we're all just scraping on it, and then come back the next morning, breakers trip, plane's iced up again, just the same thing over again. So by the 3rd day, we got smart. We had like all these wool blankets and sleeping bags and stuff on it, but
nice.
It didn't even frost, and we just left. So
nice. Have you had any other times when you were stuck in villages, or
no? Mainly just for mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always -20 when something breaks.
Yeah.
It's funny. We blew a tire in Quig, which is the narrowest runway we go to now.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, of course, I had to be there. But yeah, people are usually like really hospitable there.
Yeah.
A couple shifts ago, I lost like 2 alternators in 2 days, so we just
really
walk around the village for 2 hours and go to the store.
Yeah.
And, stores all the way across the village, so like 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time I've been stuck in the village. It's been 2 or 3 hours. It's actually pretty rare that we're getting stuck for nights, or especially multiple nights was pretty. That was a pretty rare occurrence. But that's like it's bad, and then it'll just lift for a minute. It'll be 700-foot ceilings, 4-mile viz, and these guys will be in Paca, 4 miles away. They'll just make it in. They'll call it. You can call a tower on your phone. We got a really good relationship with the tower there, so
yeah,
they can work you in. Or a lot of times you just leave a plane close, and they'll just drive on the ice road, pick you up during the winter. So
oh yeah,
pretty convenient.
Nice. Hell yeah. So what you've got? You're looking to go to the airlines or some 135 IFR?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
My eventual goal is to end up at the airlines.
Yeah.
But there's just so much flying in Alaska to do that, and it's not a huge rush.
Yeah.
But
dude, there's a lot out there that's just, I mean, all all the different flying I've done, I've absolutely loved all the variety that's out here. And you can get out, where it's super cold up north, or you can like down on the southern part of the Aleut Peninsula and getting into the chain. It's like 40, 50 degrees all the time. And like you go down there and you're like unloading in your t-shirt. And so there's a lot of the state left. Do you have any plans for like float flying or any other sort of fun flying?
Yeah, our Cub's got a float kit on it.
So no way.
Trying to eventually, we're just looking at like the $400 or $500 rental rate from the school. So if like 20 hours of that, you can buy floats. So kind of just obviously Lake Hood is just extremely hard to get a slip there, and you think about putting it on a trailer and putting it in the water every time you want to fly, and then so it's kind of something to attack in the future when I get bored, I guess. We're out of stuff to do.
Hell yeah.
But, we'll see. I mean, Cub on wheels can get you almost anywhere you want. So.
Yeah, it's the Alaska State bird.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Too much.
Ryan Padgett.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the Pirate.
Appreciate it.